Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sam here to break down the injury reports from Friday to see what we need to know for Sunday. These are always important, and we don't always just talk about running backs, running backs, receivers being out. Like we talk about all the positions. So I'm here to break down all of that for you guys. But before I do all that, if you're new to this channel, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You're watching all these videos, haven't hit that subscribe yet. Like, come on, you got to do that. If you want to get some more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put that link in the description below. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter's at DFSNateLane, Instagram's at @NateLane_. Should give that a look as well. But I think that's really all I got to say on that. Let's get into this. So Miles Sanders questionable. I don't think he's going to miss. I'd be shocked if he's going to miss. Like, he's just kind of been limited in practice the past 2 weeks. I don't really think he's going to miss, but this whole thing of Miles Sanders getting limited carries has definitely scared me a little bit for tournaments. I think I'm still wanting him in cash, but in tournaments it's definitely become a little bit scary. Corey Clement and Boston Scott obviously would benefit from that if Miles Sanders is out. Definitely like them as GPP plays in tournaments. I don't know if I'd go to them in cash because I don't think either of them gets like a big bulk of carries. They probably just split at that point, but I don't think Miles Sanders is missing, so I'm not really too worried about that. Mike Evans was a big one. He's doubtful. So this one's interesting for me because Chris Godwin obviously is going to get more targets now if with Mike Evans out. I mean, he's not playing. So, but the problem here is now Chris Godwin has just a bad matchup against Marshawn Lattimore, who notoriously has knocked down Mike Evans every single game they've played against each other. But he's never played against Chris Godwin one-on-one. So now he gets to go up against Godwin. If we're still getting Godwin in the slot a little bit, that's going to be a steal because we're still going to get Godwin going up against PJ Williams. So he's questionable too, but I think he'll play. But yeah, Mike Evans, it's just you don't. He's just someone that, like, Chris Godwin. I don't want to play him against Marshawn Lattimore. I really don't. But like, he's gonna get so many more targets. So I think Chris Godwin's the guy everyone's going to. So let's not necessarily go to Chris Godwin in tournaments now. Let's look at Rob Gronkowski. Let's look at Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller's going to get the start now. Well, he already was, but now he's going to get more targets. We've heard stuff in camp that Tom Brady's like going to him. And then, what happens when your number one targets goes down on a new team? Go back to old reliable, and that's Rob Gronkowski. Like, that's going to be someone who's going to get used now. I think those two are going to be very, very lower owned now that are going to be in play. So I definitely want to get to them. I think those are guys that are going to benefit greatly from Mike Evans. It's not just Chris Godwin, and everyone's going to just circle to Chris Godwin now, which is fine. He's still a good play, but I just don't I think there's other ways to go. Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn are. Well, Khalil Mack's questionable. Robert Quinn's doubtful. If these two miss, it's more important that if Khalil Mack misses. Robert Quinn, okay. But if Khalil Mack misses, this is big for the Lions offense. Like, we already know, like, the thing that, you got to worry about when you're playing the Bears is their pass rush. With Khalil Mack, and they got Robert Quinn and a run defense with Akeem Hicks. The secondary sucks. But if you take out that pass rush that Khalil Mack gives, that just gives such an advantage to that Lions offense with Matt Stafford. He's going to be able to throw the ball down to Marvin Jones now, get it to TJ Hawkinson. Like, it's going to help out tremendously. So that's big. That's one to really look out for. I'm already playing a solid bit of Detroit, I think, tomorrow. But if Khalil Mack is out, I think that's even better for them. They become one of the best stacks on the slate, in my opinion. So, I think Robert Quinn definitely and Khalil Mack being out is definitely important. I doubt Khalil Mack misses. It's Khalil Mack. He's only questionable. So, but still, it's like you just have to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Up next, we have Kenny Golladay doubtful. That was a big one yesterday that kind of pissed me off for fantasy football purposes. But what you going to do? Marvin Jones Jr. is going to be the one that everyone's going to go after, which is fine. But, and he's going to get more targets. Like, he's a great play now, and he gets to go up against Kyle Fuller, who's really not good. So, I'm fine with that. Like, Marvin Jones Jr., I'm definitely going to have some exposure to, but don't just go after Marvin Jones Jr. Like, TJ Hawkinson now is going to see some more targets. If Damian Amendola, who's also questionable, plays, he's going to see some more targets. Marvin Hull is going to start on the outside. So, like, you got to look at some of these other players now. It's not just Marvin Jones. My favorite one would definitely be TJ Hawkinson. I think he just gets more usage in the offense already. I was already kind of high on him, but now I'm even higher, so I think he's in a good spot this week. Then if Danny Amendola is also questionable, if he misses too, so the starting receivers are going to be MJJ, Marvin Hall, and Quintus Cephas, rookie. So I don't really know how much I want to go to like Quintus Cephas because I don't really know much about him. I know he's impressed in camp, but that's really about it. But Marvin Hall's a deep threat, so he's definitely someone that if he's going to get more targets, I think he's someone to very, very much look at. Just if he can get 2 or 3 deep targets, he hits one against not really a great secondary. I think that's something to really target here. So Marvin Hall definitely got some interest for me now, especially if Danny Amendola misses. Even if he doesn't, I'm still probably going to have few lineups with him in there. But for the most part, going to most part, it's going to be more if Danny Amendola's out. So I think he's someone who's interesting. For San Francisco, we have Deebo Samuel, who's out, and Brandon Ayuk is questionable. So if Deebo Samuel misses and Brandon Ayuk plays, Brandon Ayuk is a pretty solid play because he's going up against Arizona, really not a good defense, and he is going to get more targets. He's going to be number one wide receiver, so I think that's good, big. And then Kendrick Bourne will probably start in the slot, so he'll get a few more targets. And of course, George Kittle, when Samuel's out, is going to see a bunch of targets. Now, if Brandon Ayuk misses too, George Kittle, who I think is already kind of in a smash spot, is just going to go off. Like, I mean, Arizona, we all know, is horrible against tight ends, and he's going to be probably the number one targeted player in this offense already with Samuel out, but I mean, it's just going to go up to more now with Ayuk out as well. And then Kendrick Bourne, I think, would see some more targets too. I think he's a solid value play as well. But yeah, I mean, big time for George Kittle. That's someone I'm definitely have my eye on for tournaments. Probably don't want to go there in cash because I don't like spending a tight end in cash. But if you want to get George Kittle in cash, I don't hate that at all at this point. I think he's fine. But yeah, big tournament upside for George Kittle. Definitely someone I want to get to. And then we go to Cleveland, where Greedy Williams and Kevin Johnson are out. That's one of the starting outside corners and the starting slot corner. I mean, that just affects the Ravens' offense completely because now you have two backups coming in to start. I mean, Denzel Ward's still out there, and he's probably going to follow Marquise Brown around everywhere, but I still think Marquise Brown, I don't think he's going to shadow him completely, so Marquise Brown still's a better matchup now. Definitely someone I like to go to. Want some more Miles Boykin, want some more Mark Andrews. A Ravens stack is very, very viable for me right now. I'm very high on them. I think this is going to be a team I am going to stack just because defense is depleted. So yeah, I definitely want to get some of that. And then N'Keal Harry's questionable, but I mean, if he misses, Julian Edelman's just going to get some more targets. Demir Bird's going to get some more targets, but nothing too big. I think Julian Edelman's probably like one guy. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I might play some Julian Edelman now, but I don't think N'Keal Harry's going to miss, to be honest. But that's just in case he does. So I think there's really not a ton of injuries there's more injuries obviously, but nothing that's like that important for the slate. I mean, obviously there's Cortland Sutton who went down, but that's not on the slate, so I'm not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that in the Monday night video. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say on this. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe on this channel. Leave a comment, turn notification bell so you know when all my stuff comes out. If you want to subscribe to the Patreon, I'll put it in the link below. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say. Thanks so much for watching, guys.